Hi everyone, this is Gabriel at Symbiont Farm, and today I am in the larger commercial banana agroforestry style section, and I want to share a realization that I had today. So the intention with this style system is to go through the stages of a forest and not skip any steps so that you can take the whole system to the stage where it can sustain fruit trees like mangoes and jackfruit, all those, without the need for any external inputs like fertilizers, mulch being brought in. Essentially, that all the mulch and all the needs are being met from within the system. In this first stage of succession, because the biomass and the mulch is not coming from above, there is no canopy, the mulch is coming from, it's horizontal. So as you see right here, this is a freshly cut section where the grass is now growing back. This is sorghum Sudan grass that was sown in here. And then we have these rows, which are not looking too great right now with the bananas. And mind you, this is a zero irrigation system. But the idea initially was to plant all the pigeon peas, leucaena, castor in the middle, and then have that fill in while the bananas were growing in and create a wall. Now, as you see, that's not happening. It's just this grass, they call Florida snow, I think, produces this very pretty flower. Some of the pigeon pea has taken, it'll grow in eventually, and some spiky weeds pretty much. So what now? So I have this row right here that is not filled in how I would have liked it to be. What is missing? What should I do in the next year? Should I just wait? Should I bring in mulch? Should I bring in set up an irrigation system? Well, what I realized is that I skipped one of the most crucial steps, which is the annuals chapter. So a forest goes from grass to annuals. They seed quickly, they die quickly, but they also don't require as much fertility. Then come the longer lived perennial shrubs that are usually nitrogen fixing, the legumes like pigeon pea, leucaena, that grow taller. So what I'm thinking is I will let this just be until the next rainy season. And at the beginning of the next rainy season, I will probably plant sun hemp. So I was weighing the pros and cons of various different annuals that could be used. And ultimately, it seems like sun hemp is the one that produces the most biomass with deepest taproot and is also a nitrogen fixer. So I think what I'm gonna do is then come through here and mow everything. So just mow everything in between the bananas. As you see, the bananas are pretty miraculous in the sense that they don't die. It's very hard for them to die once they're established. Now, they're not going to be very healthy and they're not going to produce fruit if you don't give them enough nutrients, but they will still be alive. So I'll come through the middle of these, whack everything down, and then plant the sun hemp. Then once the sun hemp grows in, I will come whack it down again and start to plant the pigeon peas, leucaenas, moringa, whatever else I want to plant. But at that stage, it should be at a level of fertility where it can sustain the pigeon pea. Now let me walk over to another section of the farm where the pigeon pea did take, and it is doing what I expected it to do. Now, this section of the farm was one where the ground was already the highest in the farm. So the machinery that was grading the land did not have to do so much work in this part of the land. Towards the front of the property where I just showed you, that was the lowest section. So most of the dirt that was being taken from other parts of the property was being placed over there. And so the machinery was going back and forth over that, meaning it was the most compacted, the most mistreated, really. And so here we see another section where this pigeon pea has created a wall. And, you know, if you see compared to me, it's over my head. Yeah, and this is what we want to see really in the beginning stages of a syntropic agroforestry accumulation system with no irrigation. You really need to create this microclimate. So yeah, here my plan worked, and it would work if you are planting into an area that is relatively fertile. But if you're planting in very degraded soils, it is really important to not skip the annuals chapter, because that annuals chapter is what will set the soil up for this to grow well. So yeah, with that, I just wanted to show you this epiphany that I had in the middle of a failure, and I hope it's useful to you and you can apply this in your garden, in your farm. If you have any questions, please leave them below. And as always, like, share, and subscribe. Till next time.